right, what's up? It's your boy G Wiz, man. I'm back. Major shout out to everybody who's been checking out the last couple of videos I put up, man. I really appreciate y'all, all the new subscribers, everybody who's leaving comments, questions, opinions, all of that, man. That's dope. This is my first really shot at doing something on YouTube like this, but it's cool, man. It seems like I'm helping a lot of people, so I'm gonna keep on doing them as time permits. Wish I could get them up sooner, man, but you gotta bear with me, man. Got a lot going on. But today, one of the questions that I got was, how am I routing from my Apollo through SSL SiX back into Pro Tools? So I'm gonna show you how I do it. First, we're gonna start with the Apollo. Let me show you the ins and outs here. All right, so if you notice back here, I got my 1 and 2 monitor, 1 and 2, and this is 3 and 4 right here. I'm using a snake, a little snake I got right here, but I'm basically coming out of 1 and 2, going into 1 and 2 channels here, and I'm going into 3 and 4 right here. All right, so there's a couple of things you got to do in your console before you start to really get busy. So let me show you. First thing you want to do is you want to go to your settings tab, and it's going to default to right here, hardware. So once you're inside of there, for people who have been using the alternate output on the Apollo for your other monitors, you would add that here. Normally it's set to 1 if you're using your alternate monitors, but since you're going to use both sets of monitors coming out of the SSL SiX, you want to make this 0 because you're going to be using this SSL SiX as your monitor control, right? Right. So then we're going to go to the I/O matrix, right? And what we are concerned about right now is the outputs. So if you look right here, we have outputs, device, outputs, custom name, yada, yada, yada. So as you see, this is channel 1. We have channel 1, and we're going to monitor left, right? Then you can go on down to the next one. Then we're gonna do monitor right. Those are gonna be your output 1 and 2, all right? From there, you go down to output 3, and you want to make sure this is set to analog line 3. That's the third output of your Apollo. Go down one more, you see we got line 4. So that's output 4 of your Apollo. You know what I'm saying? So once that's done, you can pretty much close that out. But we gotta go back into Pro Tools, and we gotta set up a couple things here too. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna open up our I/O. Ooh. And I always like to start here. Input. So if, depending on what kind of interface you're using, if you're not using the Apollo or you just plugged in your Apollo that you got brand new or something like that, you're gonna wanna highlight these. And you're gonna want to delete them. Then just click default right here. Boom. And it brings up your actual interface unit. These are your Pro Tools outputs right here. So you see we got monitor left and right, which is going to be 1 and 2. We got line 3 and 4, which is 3 and 4. Same thing, you want to highlight those, delete, default. Bus, depending on how you're running it, same thing. Highlight them, delete, default, and it'll get you to where you want to be on that. This shows you where your buses are mapped to as well. So pretty simple stuff right there. So you click OK. And now let's open up our Pro Tools mixer. So remember I said I have 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? So what we're gonna do is, I got a little beat that I cooked up. Well, I didn't cook it up, but I locked it in here. This is produced by my homeboy, Il Brown from Chicago. Shout out to Il Brown. But first here we have the sample. So, solo it. Hit play. And my output is set to 1 and 2 stereo. So as long as that's set to 1 and 2 stereo, when I come over to my SiX, those are gonna come up on channels 1 and 2, right here. Boom. I also have some drums. And I have all my drums going out of 3 and 4. Line outputs 3 and 4. Boom. So we'll solo these. And we'll see those come up on channel 3 and 4, right here on the SiX. Right? So let's play it all. So I got my sample here, drums here. Boom. Pretty easy, right? And if I want to go back into Pro Tools, say I got my mix going here, I got everything mixed the way I want it inside of Pro Tools, and I just want to send it through my board to get some additional body to it, you know, some EQ, some compression, stuff like that. I'm going to play it, and I have a channel set up here that is going to be my stereo input back into it. The way I work, I like to dump things one at a time, especially since I'm only using a 2-channel output on here. If I had a couple of more channels on here and a couple of more channels in my Apollo, you know, we can run the full 8 out, 8 in kind of situation, but we're not doing that right now. But if you did want to take advantage of something like that, you're going to have to bounce them stereo tracks, you know, one at a time or whatever. But another thing that I've been doing is I've also been doing my mix here, and like say my drums, for instance. Let me get those drums going. Alright, so say I got my drums here. I got them cranking. Got it cranking pretty nice. So say I want to bring that back into Pro Tools. So I have a channel set up here, and I'm going to make this input 1 and 2 stereo, because I'm coming out of my SSL SiX right here. These are the main outs, and I'm going back in to channel 1 and 2 stereo right here, right? So if I hit this, and you notice I have it muted because I don't want to hear the signal coming back twice. I also have it muted here in my console because I don't want the signal coming back 3 times. So basically when I'm ready, I can go, oh, I didn't mean arm it. Arm my track. Say I got my drums the way I want them. They mix down. This isn't, but just, you know, for time's sake. We hit record. And it's gonna start to record. Maybe I should just go here just to show you guys the signal coming in. There we go. So now we're dumping the drums, basically. The drum mix from Pro Tools through the SiX back into Pro Tools. Pretty simple. Or say I got my entire mix the way that I want it, and I want to print to tape. I can just, let me see, unsolo these and let that baby run. So now I'm going to be basically controlling my whole mix from here. That's going to be dumping back into Pro Tools right now. See, if I lower this down, you notice my signal goes away there. So that's basically a way that you can output from Pro Tools through the SiX and then back into Pro Tools. Pretty simple. A lot of you guys were having some issues with your routing, and understandable. It's just a couple of more settings that you got to pull off inside of Pro Tools and inside of console too. All right, another thing I think I need to mention too is that when you're going out of monitor left and right, which is channel 1 and 2, you're gonna want to use your monitor control here. This is kind of like, this is your output basically. So if this is down, you're not gonna get anything going to 1 and 2. So make sure that your output is up. You can keep it low if you want to, and even use your trims to bring it up a little bit more. But that's just something to keep in mind. Alright, so that's basically how I'm routing my signal. Out of Pro Tools, through the SSL SiX, back into my Apollo to get back into Pro Tools. Pretty simple, man. I've been having a great time with it so far. The board's been great. I got a couple of questions about, you know, I was talking about like the smell of it when it was new, when it was heating up and stuff like that. Hasn't been an issue at all. One thing actually that I'm finding, I normally work on stuff in the evening or the late afternoon. So when I wake up in the morning, guess what I do? I turn my SiX on. I might not even be working at the time, but I turn my SiX on because I want my board to be warm. I want it to be prepped. I want it to be ready to go. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get the best tones, I feel like, once the board is actually, you know, a little warm and ready to rock, just like a big board would be. So the circuitry definitely helps. I can't think of really any more questions that you guys might have had, but if you do have any, just like I said, feel free to hit me up, leave a comment, write me, man. I'll write you right back. I'll make a video and try to figure it out. A and B comparisons, people are asking for those too. So I'm gonna get on that this weekend. I'm gonna make some A and B comparisons of maybe just some dry signal coming straight from the Apollo, and then some dry signal just plugging directly into the board, because I can definitely hear a difference without even EQing or compressing anything. It just gives it a little more body. It sounds a little warmer. We all know we're gonna have a lot more headroom going through the board too, so we can push our levels a lot more. Yeah, so like I said, y'all got any more questions, man, just feel free to hit me up. But that whole routing thing is pretty simple, especially when we're dealing with something like the Apollo Twin, because there's only 4 channels, 2 in, 2 out. I mean, I'm sorry, 2 in, 4 out. I'm still experimenting with this headphone jack to try to see if I can get some additional channels out of there. I got a feeling that if I can create some sort of a cue mix inside of console, that I'll be able to send that out into Pro Tools, because let me show you. So we want to be able to output through these right here. Headphone left, headphone right. Alright. So next video, hopefully I'll have that figured out. But yeah, man, it's pretty simple setup too, man. Shout out to everybody who's copped the SiX. again. I've had a lot of fun with it so far. One of the things that I really like about it, man, is that, you know, you're limited to 6 channels on here, basically. So it kind of takes me back to the days of recording to something like a 4-track cassette machine, you know, that type of thing that we used to use back. Anybody's familiar with those old school cassette recorders that we used to use? We had to get real creative and figure out ways to bounce down certain tracks to give us the ability to record more tracks. So that's something that I experiment a lot with using the SiX, because inside of Pro Tools, I've been I'll bust multiple things out to the same channel. Like I showed you how I did my drums. I might bust drums out and put something else on that drum track too, just to kind of save some space, because my main mix is really coming from Pro Tools. Everything that's going to the SiX is just to give it some more character before it gets back to Pro Tools. So yeah, really cool thing. So like I said, man, if y'all got any more questions, comments, anything like that, send them on over, man. I'll be more than happy to help. I'm going to make some A and B comparison videos. I'm gonna give this thing a couple of more twirls and, you know, try to pump some more tones through here. This is an instrumental. Maybe next video I'll pull up a vocal mix and show you guys how I've been using it with vocals and busting things out to busting multiple things out to these limited amount of channels that I have on the board. So that'll be good too. Maybe show y'all some techniques y'all might not have thought of, or maybe y'all can teach me some stuff too. But until the next time, man, it's your boy G Wiz, SSL SiX in the Apollo routing session. Hopefully that was easy for y'all, and hopefully you get your routing going and you're sending some dope stuff through your board back into your DAW. Alright, I'm gonna check y'all later. Peace, till the next time.